I remember the moment everything cracked like it was burned into my memory. My mom texted me, "Don't come to the wedding. You and your kids just make things awkward." No warning, no phone call, just that sentence. Cold. Final. It lit up my screen while I stood in a pharmacy line holding a $140 prescription I wasn't sure I could even afford. A second later, my sister reacted with a laughing emoji. I stared at it for a moment, my fingers numb, then typed back, "Then you won't need my card for the venue." They laughed again in the group chat, still joking, still unaware that I was already holding the one thing they couldn't afford to lose. That's where everything began to unravel. You know, people always ask how a family can turn on you like that. They imagine it happens suddenly, but it doesn't. It's slow like rot under paint. My mother, Angela, had this way of turning guilt into currency, and I was her most reliable bank. Since I was 16, I've been paying emotional debts that were never mine. She'd call it helping out. But somehow, it always came with an invoice. When my sisters Jenna and Megan went to college, I co-signed their loans because Mom said, "You've got the steady job." When our stepdad Rick lost his work, I paid for groceries, bills, even Mom's hair appointments. She always promised to pay me back. She never did that in our family. Love was measured in payments. Still, I kept giving. That's what daughters do, right? I'm 35 now, a single mom of two, juggling spreadsheets, school runs, and the quiet exhaustion of holding everything together alone. Yet I still made time for them. For months, I helped Jenna plan her dream wedding. A lakeside venue with glass walls that looked perfect on Instagram and cost more than a car. Every invoice, every deposit, my name was on it. I told myself she deserved it. I didn't realize I was funding my own humiliation. The signs were there. The tone shifts when I asked about money. The way Jenna brushed off my questions, laughing. "You're so good with finances, you can handle it." I did handle it. $3,000 for the deposit. $1,200 for catering, $600 for flowers, all on my card. I kept telling myself it was temporary. It wasn't. I showed up to fittings, scrolled through fabric swatches, handled the stress calls when Jenna was too busy. Mom said family sticks together, and I believed her. Right up until that text. It wasn't just about a wedding. It was about realizing I was only valuable as long as my card worked. Standing there in that pharmacy line, I didn't feel anger yet, just clarity. I wasn't their family anymore. I was their funding. The next morning, the group chat was alive with laughter, jokes, memes. It wasn't just cruel, it was coordinated. I stared at the messages before muting the chat. That tiny click sounded louder than any argument I could have had. I sat on my bed thinking about the last 6 months, the receipts, the hours, the effort, the money, over $4,000 gone. They decided I was ruining the wedding, but really I just stopped being convenient. That night, Rick called. "You don't deserve that, Adeline," he said softly. "You've done more than anyone." His voice trembled between guilt and truth. I told him I was fine even though I wasn't. After we hung up, I opened my laptop. The venue contract sat there, my name printed clearly. Primary contact, Adeline Moore. Those words suddenly felt heavy. My cursor hovered over an email draft. "Can I cancel the booking if needed?" I typed, then sent it before I could change my mind. The next morning the reply came, "Yes, since you're the primary on file." I read it twice. They thought I'd stay quiet. They thought I'd keep paying. But what they didn't know was that the table they'd seated me under was about to disappear. I waited 2 days. Long enough for them to keep laughing. Then Wednesday morning came. Jenna posted 12 days until forever on her Instagram story. I watched it for exactly 3 seconds before calling the venue. "Hi, Melissa," I said, calm as still water. "I need to cancel the event." She paused, then said gently, "Understood. Since the contract's in your name, I'll process it immediately." Just like that, months of planning vanished with a click. And for the first time in years I felt still. Not guilty, not angry, just still. The group chat kept buzzing, memes about the drama queen ruining the mood. I almost smiled. In a few hours they'd see what real drama looked like. That afternoon I called 2 of my oldest friends, Carla and Denise, who never got to celebrate their pandemic wedding. I offered them the date and venue free. They cried. They didn't know it, but they were saving me too. Giving that day new meaning meant I didn't have to carry its poison anymore. By evening, the group chat went silent. I knew why. The payment must have bounced. The venue had sent the cancellation notice. I imagined Jenna refreshing her email, Mom pacing, Megan typing in all caps. I waited, not for revenge but for the silence to settle. For once they'd sit in the confusion they'd built for me. By noon, Rick called again. They're losing it, he said. Your mom's yelling, Jenna's crying, Megan's blaming everyone. He hesitated. I told them this would happen. I told them you deserved better. I didn't cry. I just said, thank you for seeing it. That night my mother called the house phone. A number she hadn't used in years. How could you do this to your sister? She shouted. You sabotaged her wedding. When she stopped to breathe, I asked quietly, was I even invited anymore? Silence. Then excuses. You took that message the wrong way. We were joking. You know Jenna gets stressed. I almost laughed. You all thought it was funny enough to post memes. Don't make this worse, she snapped. Just fix it. I hung up. No yelling, no drama. Just a clean disconnect. A few days later, Rick met me for coffee. He looked tired. Your mom's impossible, he said. They found some cheap banquet hall outside town. Everything else is booked. On the wedding day it rained. Not softly, relentlessly. Cold, soaking, punishing. I didn't go, but photos found their way to me. Beige walls, plastic flowers, dim lighting. A caption from Megan read, Round 2, no drama. I almost laughed. Later Rick called again. You won't believe this, he said. During the bouquet toss, one of Jenna's friends shouted that the groom's been texting her. The entire hall went silent. My mother blamed Rick. Said it was his fault. He told her she pushed away the only person who ever kept this family together. After the call, I sat in my quiet apartment listening to the hum of the fridge and my kids breathing down the hall. I thought I'd feel victorious, but I didn't. I just felt freed out. A few days later, Jenna texted me. You must feel proud of yourself. Everyone's talking about how cold you are. I stared at it, considered replying, then put the phone down and let it buzz until it stopped. Rick texted again soon after, 2 words. I'm leaving. When I called, he said, I told your mom I'm done. I can't live where decency is treated like betrayal. He added softly, you're the only one who ever treated me like family. That night I stood on my balcony. The rain had stopped. The air smelled clean, like forgiveness. I thought about that first text, how final it had seemed. But it wasn't the end. It was the start of peace. A week later, Rick left home for good. He looked lighter. They still haven't apologized, he said, half smiling. Apologies mean admitting the well is dry. He handed me a check. Part of that loan. You deserve it back. Pushed it back. Keep it. You've paid enough. Later that night, Mom texted me again. You've made your point, but this is still your family. I wrote back. I didn't cut anyone off. I just stopped funding my own mistreatment. She never replied. Inside, my kids were building a pillow fort. Their laughter spilling into the quiet. I looked at them and realized peace isn't loud or dramatic. It's steady, and it's finally mine. For years I thought love meant staying no matter how much it hurt. But love without respect is just control dressed as care. Walking away wasn't revenge. It was survival. If you've ever had to choose between your peace and your family's approval, take it from me, choose peace. You'll sleep better. You'll breathe again. And maybe, just maybe, you'll finally start living.